Been a great week. We've had some great podcasts or video casts throughout the week. Today we're going to have our fifth and final one, and then again starting next week we'll keep these going on Fridays going forward. Today we're going to kind of wrap things up. We're going to be talking to, we've got some guests here today. I mentioned it's going to be somewhat technology related, at least the front part of this. And joining us, we've got Jeff and Austin from the IT department. Hey, guys.
Hello. How's it going?
Good. Welcome. So, last year we started switching over to the TransFlow / Geotab, and I'm going to give a little history on that, and we're going to get into to that product and some of the challenges that we've had and some of the fixes that we put in place and are working on, so we'll get into that. And also joining us today, we have a special guest, 18-year veteran, Tanya Claypool. Welcome, Tanya.
Hi, how y'all doing?
So everyone knows Tanya, right? I think everyone out there probably knows Tanya, or most people do. Tanya is an incredible operator here at Hirschbach, and it's great to have you here. So,
thank you.
Driver Appreciation Week, let me start off by, Tanya, thanking you for everything you do.
You're welcome.
And to everyone else out there that's operating the trucks out there, hats off to all of you during Driver Appreciation Week. And I am going to, I think as I mentioned earlier, I'm getting out there next week. I haven't been out there this year, and I think it's time for me to get out there and see what it's like out there. So.
Are you going to try the I-95 corridor?
Well, I think I'm going to be running, it looks like I'm going to be running Midwest dedicated for Smithfield. I'm going to be jumping in with Nathan Jones, who's a trainer in that fleet. And, I think you heard we had BK on yesterday. BK originally trained me to get my CDL. BK and I went out, first time I went out with BK. We ran around for a while. Next time I went out with Bobby. You know Bobby.
Bobby Ellison.
My boy Bobby. So Bobby took me out, and I thought going out with Bobby, my goal is really to get, I really wanted to kind of get polished up on just comfortable being able to do everything on my own, and even some of the little nuances, whatever, who knows, in and out of the, scaling and, fueling up and all that sort of stuff, and working at the time the PeopleNet device and doing paperwork and all that. And all Bobby and I, all we did is we just ran. We ran for like 5 days without stopping.
Well, I think after you do the Smithfield account, I think that you need to do the Mountain Air account out of Delaware.
Oh, okay.
And I think you need some of that I-95 corridor.
Okay. Well, I got 3 daughters out there. My 3 daughters, one's in Baltimore. One's, they're all going to school out east. Not sure why they all went out there, but one's out in Baltimore, one's in Vermont, and one's in New Hampshire. So maybe I can go out and visit them.
Yeah, so that you can understand why I don't want to do Philly no more.
Yeah, not a fan of Philly?
I'd rather do New York City and Chicago every day, all day, than I had to do Philly.
So the traffic, we went through COVID and the roads were empty. And what would you say, Tanya, it's like out there now, compared to pre-COVID, the traffic levels?
It's back up there on steroids.
Yeah, pretty nasty.
Yeah, yesterday coming down from Green Bay, and I had a Warner truck pass me on the shoulder.
What?
Pass me on the shoulder. I had to slow down, going up a little incline and stuff, and there was people merging onto the road, and Warner decided, I guess I wasn't going fast enough, and passed me on the shoulder.
Wow.
Down past Little Chute.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's getting busy out there. We talked about All in the Zero yesterday with BK and Rob, and with more traffic out there and people doing crazy things, obviously you just got to stay away from it. Keep your distance, maintain your cushion, watch your speeds, and be careful.
Well, I've always been a defensive driver. I'm not an aggressive driver. So if there's like 5 people coming off on the exit ramp, I always back out of it. I always have. I guess that's why I'm 2 million plus miles accident free. Now, I'm not saying that I haven't knocked a door or two off over the years. I think the last time that they ran my claims, I was at $5,000 career.
So I hope everyone heard that. We had Bruce Light on earlier, 30 years, 6 million safe miles. Tanya's on today, 2 million plus safe miles. It is not an accident that you have that many safe miles, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't run my truck at bumping the governor. I get me a cushion, like maybe one day it's 62, maybe the next day it's 68. I don't run on cruise at 68 miles an hour, and I pre-trip my plans. I know where I'm going to stop at the end of the night, and I plan my load. And I still read my map after 18 years because, things change, and I want to know where I'm going to be posting up for the night so that I divide my load. So if my load is 900 miles, I do 450 today and 450 tomorrow and deliver on Friday.
Sounds very similar to what Bruce said, basically. You plan things out. You know what your next 1, 2, 3, 4 moves are going to be out in front, and
that way you're not rushed.
Yeah.
You can't. One thing in trucking, you can't rush. I mean, crap happens, accidents happen, and you can't be under the gun all the time. You got to leave yourself a cushion. You need your 8-hour break or your 10-hour break, and you need to not feel rushed. And running that truck, bumping the governor as fast as it'll go, you're going to tear up your shocks, you're going to tear up your leaf springs. I still slow down for railroad tracks. If the road's in bad shape, like I-70 out of Greenfield, Indiana to the Ohio line, I slow it down. I don't want my truck bouncing every chug hole. I don't want to blow a steer tire. I don't want to bust a shock. And the last truck I turned in, the 2014 Freightliner that I turned in, I had 460,000 miles original shocks still on the truck. I had to change out the disc brakes because that was the first truck we had with disc brakes all around it. And at 460,000 miles, we had to change the disc brakes and the rotors. So, I mean, if you don't take care of your truck will not take care of you.
Great advice. And I think you like the new trucks we got coming in, too, if I'm not mistaken, Tanya.
Yeah, I like them, but I'm not going to jump off of mine. I still got my 2020. I just now turned 99,460 on it, and it's still new, and I still love it.
Pretty much the same.
And it's UK blue.
Yeah. She likes her
Freightliners.
She likes her Freightliners, and she likes her Kentucky basketball team.
Yep. And I Calipari, I die hard blue, but I'm in Hirschback gray today.
So no, the truck that we've got coming in that we showcased with Nick here. I guess on Wednesday. It's very similar to your truck, obviously. Yep. It's just a year newer. They got a couple new options that are available. So let's talk about, where you said we're going to talk about technology today. I'm going to give you a little history on, we talk about our main device, the TransFlow device. And I'll give you a little history, basically. We had the PeopleNet system for years, decades actually. Went through a couple of different upgrades, if you will, of different products, hardware that they had over the years. Then we created an app, a Hirschbach app. And the Hirschbach app we probably created, I don't know what it was, maybe, I'm going to guess, 7 years ago-ish, 6, 7 years ago. Sound about right? Mm-hmm. So, and we had this new upgraded, up-to-date technology, the app that was real user-friendly, very intuitive. We really got that thing fine-tuned to be able to do, pretty much everything you could do on that app that you could do on the PeopleNet device, and then some. But it was a totally different experience for our operators, whether you're on your phone or whether you're in your truck. And as new people were coming into the organization, we found that they picked up the app real quick, real easy, but they really struggled in learning how to use the PeopleNet device. And so we thought, well, it'd be nice if the experience was the same in your truck and on your phone. And so we looked at a couple ways to do that. And unfortunately, with PeopleNet, if you go back to 20, what is it? When did the e-log mandate go in? At the beginning of 2019, I guess, is when the e-log mandate went in, almost 2 years ago. And
we started with the PeopleNet.
Well, I guess it was
12.
Yeah.
12.
Yeah. So then so the e-log mandate went in, and then they gave, there was a difference between AOBRs and ELDs. And what we had with PeopleNet was what they called an AOBR, versus an electronic logging device. They looked the same, but there were some different, according to the government, there's some different specifications, how quickly the log had to update, and one of the big changes with an ALD that they put into place for everyone last year was that when the truck is moving, it's on-duty driving. That was the big thing. We used to be able to have a radius with AOBRs, where you can move the truck within, I don't know what it was, a 2 mile, 3 mile.
5 miles, up to 6.
So you used to have, but that wasn't a PeopleNet thing. That was an AOBR thing that the government got rid of. And so whether we stayed with PeopleNet or whether we went to where we went with Geotab TransFlow, that ability to drive within that 5 mile radius went away. And when you move, you're on duty driving, unless you're doing yard move, which was something new that they brought. So that had nothing to do. Those changes were government mandated changes. They had nothing to do with the product we were using. But PeopleNet was really challenged with the devices that we had. They had to update much more frequently, and so the processing power that was required for the devices was higher than what a lot of the PeopleNets that we had, and so the PeopleNets were basically
obsolete,
kind of blowing up on us, so to speak. Austin, would that be a correct statement?
Yes, correct.
So they just couldn't handle the processing speed. So we were faced with a decision that we had to make sooner than what we wanted to, because we thought the PeopleNet units we had would be able to handle this transition. We were faced with either buying a new PeopleNet unit that had higher, increased processing speed, or go to this new technology that we were in the process of developing. And so when I say developing, the hardware that we have today is called Geotab. And Geotab is the most common hardware in the industry. It's been out there for a long time. It's very, very reliable. It's basically what's plugging into the truck's ECM and providing the logging. Is that correct?
Yes.
So that's one device, and it was primarily used with smaller fleets and a lot of independents, because it really wasn't robust and integrated for large fleets to be able to do the integration of the, load information, loaded calls, empty calls, trailers, all this sort of stuff. It really wasn't integrated for larger fleets. So what we did is we partnered with Geotab and TransFlow, and of course TransFlow has been a long-standing partner for us forever, going back to, Tanya, you probably remember the days when we had the trip packs, right, where you put the
Yep.
paperwork in over at the truck stop.
And pray that they get there by Tuesday.
Yeah. So then they'd pick it up and overnight it into, I think it was down into Louisville, right?
Louisville and right below the scales in Ohio on 71. I can't think of the name of the town.
Yeah. So they would, so that's TransFlow. They were the ones that did that trip pack in the early days. And then it evolved over time to truck stop scanning. That was sort of the next evolution with TransFlow. And
Then we got the app. Yes.
then we got their app, right? So we could then take pictures on our phone and send it right in through the TransFlow app. And now we've taken that app and now we're doing everything on it, basically. And that app is on our tablets, it's on our phones.
If you don't get paid, it's your own fault.
There you go. So now we've got it there, and you can do everything on it, and we really got sort of forced into rolling this out quicker than what we wanted to. We weren't able to do all the testing that we wanted to because those PeopleNet units started blowing up on us. And so with that, and we're really the first fleet, I'm confident this technology with TransFlow is going to become very common and popular with a lot of fleets out there. But we're really the pioneer in this case, and we co-developed this product with TransFlow. And sometimes when you're the first to do something, you end up having some growing pains. And in this case, I think one of the biggest things that was happening is the screens were freezing up, right?
Right. Yep. Drivers were having they were having issues when they're out on the loads. The screens would freeze up, and they wouldn't be able to see their hours of service or do anything in the app. They'd have to reboot the machine.
Yeah, you'd have to reboot. Tanya, that ever happened to you?
I had to reboot the phone.
Yeah.
Phone too?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
So we've had some issues where the screen's been locking up, more so on the tablet than on the phones.
Right. Yes.
And we've had several, I guess what you'd call patches that.
All day, every day. See?
Well, Tanya's showing us something. I actually just downloaded the TransFlow app myself today.
See? And then if you go in here and you try to see what you're doing, sometimes that won't show.
Won't load
With that
when the cloud is spinning.
Yep.
Okay.
So this is good. We're getting some.
Okay. Yeah, it's good to see.
Real-time
Where did you go on
feedback.
your next page? Where were you in your loads?
All right. It still got everything.
Okay.
It won't clean off. I
Okay.
don't know how to clean it off.
Okay. That helps. Yeah. Anytime you run into these issues, it helps. Let anybody know. Your DM, your safety coach.
What?
On the apps, the tablet app, and I don't know, is it on the phone? The workflow to submit TransFlow issues.
TransFlow issues, yeah, some of both.
Yeah, there's a page on the app on your phone or on the tablet that if you're having TransFlow issues, you can hit the button and fill out what you're having, and it'll send it directly to us. So then we can go through and see what's going on.
When we get through, I'd like you to show me.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Oh, Tony.
We're going to have Tony come up
Yeah.
there too. So Tony works in the safety department, training department, and is sort of an expert in the TransFlow device as well. So we're going to get him up here to join us today. He actually just trained me up. The last time I went out, it was the PeopleNet device, and so I'll be out there next week with the TransFlow device. And Tony was getting me schooled up earlier. Thanks, Tony. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So I know you've got some troubleshooting information that you were showing me on common issues, right?
There's a few main issues, whether it be on the tablet or the phone. If you're on your dashboard of the tablet or the phone app, you want to look at the very bottom line. It's going to be a small black line at the bottom, and it should say HIRS1 ELD, and then followed by your email address. That way you know you're in the electronic log fleet. If on the tablet it has anyone else's email address in, say if you got into a truck where previously used tablet, you'll be still logged in as the previous driver. You can get to your hours of service, but you may not get your messages or your loads or load notifications.
I
So
don't have E-log.
if you're not getting them, that may be part of the issue. The other thing to do is when you're on your hours of service, you want to, no matter what screen you're looking at, hours of service, down in your lower right corner there will be a More button, M-O-R-E. And if you tap on that, it opens up a new screen. I believe it's line 4. It'll say Settings, followed by your email address or name. You tap on that, in the top line on the new screen will say Check for Updates. Tap on that, a little circle will spin. and it'll, my understanding is it breaks the connection to the server, resets the connection to the server, and it's a quick little update to use to make sure you're up to date on it.
What do you, is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Where?
you know, like a lot of times with computers and cell phones, it's good to give them a break and turn them off and turn them back on. And basically, it sounds like this, hitting this does a reset, right?
Gets a reset, refreshes all your stuff, pulls it back down for you.
Now, when I was getting trained up, and Tony was schooling me up here a little while ago on how to use the app, he showed me this feature. And the first thing that came to my mind is that something that you guys could force an auto refresh on periodically?
It does auto refresh every 72 hours.
72.
Yeah, it's a system. Translow forces an auto refresh every 72.
Okay.
But this way you can speed up the refresh on your side.
Okay, that's good to know.
And I think we're working on what, 24 hours?
They mentioned that they're working on get it to 24 hours or less. They're
Okay,
so.
good. Okay, well, it sounds like that refresh happens now every 72 hours, and it looks like we've got a plan to working with them to get it to be even more frequent. But but basically, if you think the thing's a little wonky and not quite working right for you, go in and do the manual refresh, I think is the advice here, right?
I would suggest it's a good practice to use on a daily basis. When you get ready to start your day and start your pre-trip, just go into settings, check for updates, make it a daily practice.
Mhm.
Yeah. Something else new, fairly new, with the phone app that you might notice is now the phone app will authenticate the way the tablet used to. So if you put in a wrong email, you type it in wrong or something, it'll tell you this email doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
What it used to do is just take whatever you put, and
Okay.
that would break it. And
And-
that doesn't happen anymore.
Okay,
So,
and is that both for Android as well as Apple?
yes,
Okay.
it was only on the mobile phones.
And
It
I
wasn't
thi-
on the tablet, but now it's
And I think the fact that it wasn't forcing that information was causing some differences between the tablet and the app, is that
yes,
correct?
Yep. And messages wouldn't come across.
Messages weren't
Yep.
coming across. So that was one of the frustrations that people were having, and that was really just a login issue on the phone app that's now been corrected. So we don't have those issues going on. Guys, speak to, the big frustration that, the biggest one that I've heard from operators is the screen freezing up. What's been done in that area? Is it fixed now? Talk to us about what was going on with the screen kind of locking up.
That was an issue with the development of the app. Recently, fairly recent, they put in a patch. As far as we know, the screen freezing's been better.
It's a lot better. It's pretty minimal now.
Yeah, there's not much screen freezing going on. The main problem, I guess, that's came up this week is some drivers, when they go into drive, they don't get taken out of drive when they stop, and some drivers have been getting signed out again. But the sign out issue was fixed in the past, and it should be fixed pretty quickly in the next release. They're looking into and it hasn't happened to many drivers. Just when they're done for the day, it just doesn't take them out of drive. So we're looking into that and trying to get that fixed as soon as we can as well.
Okay.
As a driver's point of view, though, on the old app, we could on the new one, you can't get that right address, or it won't stay up on your phone. That is the one concern that we have, is that you can't see it because that TransFlow driving mode comes on, and sometimes when dispatch gives us the address, well, maybe it's not the front of the building or it's the back of the building, so you're stuck in the middle of Chicago and you're not at the right address, and so you can't look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the only deficiency I see with that, because with the old app, we could look at our address, or we could go to the screen and you could see the building that you were at, or the location. And with this, with you moving, you can't. That is a downside to it.
Lockdown. Yeah, and then have you tried using the Copilot?
No, because I can't get it to download.
Okay, we can help you with that after this, because
Alright.
that'll fix a lot of those problems for
Well,
you.
let's talk about that. So Copilot, a lot of people probably recognize that name. Copilot is a product that from PC Myler, I believe.
Yes.
And it's a routing software. And we turned it on many years ago with PeopleNet, and we didn't do it the right way. It really didn't work real well, and it wasn't because it was a bad product. Unfortunately, it requires a lot of time to set it up properly, and I can tell you that, so in this case, we spent the time to set it up properly, and what you have to do is you have to go in, and Jeff, you can speak to this. I know you were quarterbacking this effort internally with a lot of other people doing it. I see Square is out there. Hi, Sarah.
Yeah, she did a lot.
I know Sarah was sort of a geocoding queen. So we had several people that worked on this project, and we basically had to go in and create custom geofences for every single place that we pick up and deliver to. Jeff, do you want to talk about, kind of geofencing and what that does?
Yeah, we had to do many thousands of
How many
sites.
thousands?
16,000, I think, was the original, 16 or 18,000.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
So
and it-
18,000
It
locations.
continues to grow.
Yeah.
They do it every day.
Yeah. And what do you do when you geofence? What does that mean?
So basically, you're drawing a fence, virtual fence around a customer site, and once you get that done, then you can add in gates to where we need the gates to be. Some customers only have a gate. Some customers have 6 or 7 gates, and we only use 1 or 2 of them. One might be an entrance, one might be an exit, or they might be both. But we have to decide that. We have to put the gates in, and then we can also add notes and things at the gate. So when Copilot takes you there, it'll take you to the correct gate depending on what direction you're coming in, or the specific gate that the customer might designate for. Refrigerated trucking comes in this gate, for instance. So
now we have it turned on.
yes,
We turned it on recently, correct?
yes, it's been turned on for a little while, but to every driver, it's been just fairly recent.
So, okay, so I'm out there. How do I use Copilot? I just emptied a load, and I got a new load that says I'm supposed to pick up. I emptied out in Chicago, and it tells me I'm going to pick up in Belvedere.
Yep.
How does this thing, what do I need to do? How do I get this Copilot thing to work?
When you get your load dispatched to you, it'll come in, and you'll have an option to hit the navigate button. And when you do that, all your route will come through all the stops. If you do have fuel stops or multiple stops in between, it'll put all those into your route, and it'll just take you there.
So it's going to integrate fuel stops. It's also going to integrate your pickup and deliveries.
Yep.
And it'll give you turn-by-turn directions.
Yes, and the benefit of having it built into our system is we can also make changes. So if a driver's out there and he goes to his first stop and he noticed the gate might be wrong, maybe the customer changed the gate, or maybe we had it wrong when we put it on there. That does happen. We have a feedback program also with that, right on the app, that you can send in that to us, and we can fix it on the fly. And it doesn't help you, the driver that just went to the wrong gate, but it helps every future driver instantly as soon as we make the change.
So I've heard good things. I'm confident that you'll find that the vast majority of these will take you right to the right location, right to the right gate. The issue that sort of Tanya was talking about. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't be trip planning. You still need to trip plan and do everything that Tanya talked about, and I recommend you look at a map like Tanya said and know exactly where you're going to take your breaks and what route you're going to take. And then when the Copilot's taking you on that route, and it's kind of a confirmation, yeah, I'm going in the right way.
Another
One
thing
other
with the
feature.
Copilot is they just need to download the maps.
Oh, yes.
That's one step at the very beginning. If you don't have the maps, the navigation button won't work.
So you just need the USA map?
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
So how do you download it? What do you need to do?
You go to the main page on the Transflow app. I can show you here. We tried to get it on the tablet on a TV behind us, but IT ran into some IT difficulties. But on the main page on the tablet, there's a Copilot truck nav, You just click on that button.
So it looks like it's upper row on the first page,
Yeah.
about 3 in.
3 in, hit that guy, and then North America, just tap North America.
And then the top one, when you click that, says North America. You tap that, and you're good.
It starts downloading. It's a fairly large install, so you want to make sure you're not on a load when you're doing it, or maybe
You don't want to wait for a 3 gig file.
yeah, it's a 3 gig file, so you want to make sure you have good cell service, and
Okay.
it's downloading all the North America maps.
Or
So
do it somewhere if you're.
we can get that cleared up for you.
I'm stacked.
And the other thing, just talking about Copilot, is the second one, or the fourth spot over from the Copilot truck nav, is if you're having Copilot issues.
Here, Tanya.
That
So-
fourth one
So
on the
here
top.
is the one to download the maps, the third one on the upper row, called Copilot Truck Nav.
Okay,
And then if you have problems, right next to it,
that one.
Yep, report Copilot issues.
Yes.
Okay.
That's where you can report all your Copilot issues when you have stuff.
And that'll come right to the team that can fix it on the fly, and you can even select on there if you want a callback. So if you want to confirm that it's been fixed, they'll call you back.
Smile, Nana Trucker, smile.
Yeah. The other feature that is on there that's going to help get you to the location on time is the real-time traffic that we have. So that has the
What?
opportunity to reroute you if they run into a
Can't
traffic
wait
problem.
till you get to Philly.
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking. I mean, that's the latest and greatest technology, right? So,
Yeah, it's
so
a
we got
good feature.
real-time traffic. So you could be on a route, and the thing on the fly might say, "Hey, go this way. It's a quicker way to go."
Yeah.
Just be careful in Chicago.
Yeah, and speaking of like Chicago and some other places, we had a couple feedback from our drivers that were testing this, where they went into a bigger city, and the Copilot would take them to the correct gate, and it took them the route it thought it wanted, but they said, well, it does work better if we come in the other way. Well, Copilot doesn't know that, so we can also adjust the entry and exit paths all the way from 5 miles away from the site, where we can put in a very specific route. So when you hit to that area, it'll route all the drivers through the correct route into that gate if it's a custom route. So we have that option too.
Okay, but not per se me, but the other drivers that have to follow routing and stuff. How does that serve them with their out of route miles? Because they go by the route miles on what they're given, and if it puts them out of route compared to what Hirschback dispatched them on, then they got to pay so many cents per mile for.
Well, they do get a variance. They get a 5% variance before there's any penalties. I guess we haven't compared all of these routes yet to those, but I think we'll find that they should be less than that 5% variance.
Yeah, I would think so, and also the traffic reroute might route a longer route, but I would assume that could be an exception if you contact the
Well,
driver
I mean,
manager.
I'm very verbal. I let my dispatcher know what's going on and stuff.
Right.
But I
No,
mean, like
no.
Chicago, I mean,
Not just your dispatcher.
I let everybody know. I mean, 5 trailers in 1 week with the ABS. Yeah, I was upset.
No, I know. I'm just teasing you.
But no, but like Chicago yesterday was a nightmare. So, or the day before yesterday.
What day isn't it?
Some days I breezed through the other day, but and then wanted to route you 290. Well, no, there's road construction on 290, so I just went straight through the middle, and stuff. But I mean, that would have been nice to have a detour
Right.
suggestion, because my Ram McNally is about fried.
Yeah.
It's wore out, fell off the dash 2 or 3 times, off the windshield, so I don't have to worry about the Geotab falling off.
Correct.
So
Does that Rand McNally do real time traffic? Or
I've
not?
had Garmin, I've had Ram McNally, and there's another one I've had. And Ram McNally to me is the best trucker one that I've had. I mean, because I still in the back seat, I still got the Ram McNally Atlas over there. And it'll tell you the coordinates on the on your Rand McNally, so you can pull up what map page you need. You know.
Well, try this Copilot, Tanya, and let us know if you think it's as good as the Rand McNally.
Use that form and give us, even if it's positive or negative feedback.
So I am stacked on freight till Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. So when I'm down here in Coal City, Illinois, that's when I'll start to download that map for y'all.
If you have issues downloading the maps, you let us know. We'll make sure. And any, like Jeff said, any good or bad news you have, report it to us, because we'll make it better for all the other drivers.
I'm verbal. You'll
That's
know.
good. That's good.
All right, so that's Copilot. Again, if you haven't downloaded the North American maps, do that and start using the Copilot and get your turn-by-turn directions on where to pick up, where to deliver, where to fuel. What else do we want to talk about today? Anything else?
I guess one more thing about downloading the maps. We just need them to check their version of the Transflow app on the tablet.
Okay.
They just need to be on, what one is it? You remember which one it is? I have it written down somewhere. Oh, 4.1.10.8. If they're on an older version of the app, let your DM or your safety coach know. They'll send something out to us, and then we can push the new version of the app out to them, and then they'll be good to go with the navigation. If they're having issues with navigation,
Can they just delete their app and download a new one and they'll be good?
For the phone they can, I think.
Okay.
For the
You're
tablet,
talking the tablet, okay.
we have to push it out.
Gotcha.
They just let us know, and we can push it right out to them.
All right, so I have the 8 Plus, but my new phone at home is that I gotta go pick up is the 10 RX or whatever. So every time that Apple updates, it just automatically updates your app.
Okay.
So I don't have the problem like I did with PeopleNet, that my phone was smarter than the PeopleNet.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So I like that better because I don't never lose. Good. You know, if I'm at home and I've stayed at home for 2 weeks and somebody
2
trying
weeks.
I stay out most of the year and I take off 4 times a year and I take 2 weeks at a time.
I'm just giving you a hard time. 18 years you've earned it. So.
11 grandkids, you know, I got to go home.
Usually during basketball season.
No, I don't do too much. I did this year, but that COVID messed all that up.
It's messed a lot of things up.
You know what? I ain't never been so excited to get rid of a year, but 2020 and the double nickel birthday just sucks.
Yeah, I think we're all ready to say goodbye to 2020.
Oh, there's my man.
Dano.
Dan.
There he is.
I'm awesome. You?
She's stacked. She's stacked up, Dano.
I better shut up.
We are live.
Well, let's wrap things up here with the the Geotab. Is there any other, I guess, new feature? I'm going to talk maybe about Photector for a little bit here as one item to talk about. But any other issues, Tony, that you can think of, struggles, frustrations, people that are having out there that you can help them with?
If you're having challenges, please reach out, whether it be to safety, your DM, to the Logs and Geotab department. Reach out to us. Your success is our success, so reach out. And sometimes we don't know the issues until the drivers do reach out to us.
That's correct. Yes. Please reach out and let us know any issues you have.
Okay.
And remember, the only stupid question is the one not asked.
Good point.
Okay. Jeff, Austin, anything else that you guys can think of? Good. Well,
Nope.
Thanks for joining us. I mentioned that the Photector is not ready yet to be rolled out there, but I just wanted to give everyone a heads up. We've talked about it in other videos and so forth, but it is coming in the near future, so I don't want you to be surprised by it. The Photector is basically it's a product that will be integrated into the app
Correct.
and into the whether it be on the tablet or your phone. And it's really a program that takes pictures. And we already take pictures of the bills of lading and so forth for you to get paid. This is really going to be taking pictures of the trailer and the truck And the idea here is we want to know the condition of the equipment when you pick it up, when you drop it off. This is going to allow us to make sure that if there is damage that happens, say at a shipping location by a spotting service or something, we know that what condition it was before you dropped it off, and we know when you picked it up, so we can fingerprint exactly what happened and when. This is also will help if someone's leaving a problem for someone else out there, which no one likes picking up a trailer that has got a flat tire or hasn't been washed out or is empty with fuel or something like that, do we, Tanya?
No, I'll bite my lip.
No reason to bite it. It's a problem, and the Photector is going to allow us to hold people accountable to make sure that the trailer is in good shape when it's being dropped off.
Another good thing I think that'll help with claims too, because if you're getting live loaded, okay, if you take a picture before you shut them doors of what that load looks like,
yep,
that'll cover your butt and Hirschback's butt with claims when the forklift driver put the forklift tines through the box of meat. Well, ma'am, we got OS&D on here, or put his steel-toe shoe through a box of meat. Well, you got a case of ribeye or T-bones, and now it got a claim on it, but they want you to leave it on the dock, No, put that back on the trailer.
Absolutely, and you're right. The other thing that we're going to be asking people to do is, before we take off, we want to make sure you got a seal on the trailer. You're using those new latches that we've put on the trailers.
Them new latches are finger snatchers, glove cutters, and you're not putting enough link on the right door to latch the trailer to the hook.
Okay.
We need another link in there. And I've cussed everybody out to myself over them. They're not, and they won't stay up when you're trying to put your handles in. And Tyson will not use them.
Huh. Well, we got to get that addressed. We'll go out and take a look at it after we're done here, Tanya, and make sure that, I don't know if Nick's around, we can see what's going on there. But we want to make sure that you've got a seal before you leave. We see that. We want to make sure that you got a lock on there. And when you're done with your load and you got it empty and you got your clean bill of lading, we want you to send that in right away so we can see that, and we want to see that empty trailer in there too. So, yes, Tanya.
The drivers in Houston, if you got OS&D on your trailer, or if you're dropping in Galveston, please wash that trailer out. Don't leave a dirty trailer down there. I mean, the heat is extreme, and if you drop it on Friday and it's got meat on it, make sure it's full of fuel. Don't leave it for Michelle and Barry to have to smell a dead body on Monday. I mean, that's common courtesy. I mean, them trailers, y'all are leaving them nasty, and them two don't deserve that. They're horrible. They have to call Hirschback, go fill them up, and then freeze them for 3 days before Blue Beacon or anybody will clean them out. And it's costing like Hirschback to get these trailers cleaned out a minimum of $250. And then you got to sanitize it. And that is just wrong. That is wrong on all parts, and it is your job as a driver. When you pick up that trailer is not empty till it is clean.
Amen. Don't leave a problem for someone else. That's your job. And with this Photector, we're going to put some accountability around those areas. No one likes picking up a problem, and the time to deal with those issues are on the front end. When you come in and you pick up your load, a lot of times, things are tight in order to get done what you need to get done safely, and the last thing you need is some sort of unexpected surprise, like a problem with the trailer. So thanks, Tanya, for that. Okay, well, that's what Photector is, and I think that is going to conclude today's technology section, and it was great having Tanya here with us, and Tony, and Jeff, and Austin. We appreciate you guys being on today and sharing with us your knowledge in this area. Like I said, the technology sort of got, we had to use it a little quicker than what we wanted to, but we are, I think, getting very close to having this thing work the way that we intended to, and it's going to be a great tool for us out there.
Yep.
I got one more thing to
Tanya's well, she's got one more, but I bet it's more than one.
No. No, I've made Hirschbach my home. And just like a marriage or your family life, there's ups and downs. Just like that highway out there, there's bumps. This is a good company. If you want to make it your home, you have to work as a team. And everything's not going to go your way, and everything's not going to go Hirschbach's way. But I've watched other trucking companies. No, I've not been employed by any other trucking company. But this trucking company truly cares about their drivers. Some days it may not be, and you might feel like that you were forgot about or left out. But at the end of the day, you have a home here and you have a family here. But I mean, there's a bumpy road. And 18, almost 19 years of service here, 2.5 million miles, and this is my family. I've got good friends here, and people that's left here, we're still good friends. And give it a try. And 3 months in a truck and quitting is not giving it a try. Like my dad always told me, if you're going to stick it out, you got to stick it out a year. And then see where it goes. If you're going to do anything, you got to give it a year. 3 months in a truck and turning it over, you don't know how this company is. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
Well, I think that's a great way to sort of end today's session. Like Tanya said, any relationship requires a lot of work on both ends and a lot of communication. No one can read people's minds. I'll tell you, we do care. And if something's bothering you and you got an issue, raise your hand, tell us what's going on. I'm pretty darn confident that we'll come to some sort of resolution that makes sense. Probably happen a time or two, Tanya, right?
Yeah, and for those of you that don't know, Brad has been my dispatcher and my load planner.
It's true. I've had a board over the years, and Tanya's been one of my top drivers for 18 years, so for sure. No, communicate with us. Let us know what's going on. We want this to be your home. I'm always wearing a Hirschbach shirt, usually with a big H. The big H is over my heart, and one of the things I like to say that the H stands for is for home. And this is a place that we want all of you to feel comfortable and proud for this to be your home. And of course, being an operator, your jobs are very, very challenging. And I've got a great deal of respect for the tough jobs that you do out there. You've probably heard me say this before, but the philosophy here, my philosophy is if you're not driving a truck, you're supporting those that are. We've got, this is a team sport, and every job here at Hirschbach is critically important. And for this team to succeed, everyone's got to be all in. Everyone's got to do their part here, and in order for folks to win. But the job we do is picking up and delivering freight across the country, primarily food products to feed this country. And obviously, our operators are physically doing the work, and they're only going to be successful if they do their tough jobs to the best of their ability. And if all of us that are not driving the trucks are doing our jobs and supporting them. And so, with Driver Appreciation Week coming to an end, I just want to, again, sincerely thank all of you for the amazing jobs that you do. We very much appreciate you, not only today and this week during Driver Appreciation Week. We appreciate you 365 days throughout the year. Tanya said she's looking forward to 2020 being over. I think many of us are, but I see 2020 getting better as we get towards the end. And clearly, Tanya was saying she's all stacked up till Tuesday. Freight is really good right now, and the sun is shining, so I encourage all of you to get out there and make some money. The freight's running strong. I foresee it's going to continue to run strong throughout the year, and I'm very optimistic that 2021 is going to be a really good year for all of us. So with that, I guess we'll sign off, and everyone have a great day. Be safe, and again, I'll be out there next week, Monday afternoon. I'll be going out, and hopefully I'll be able to see some of you over the road at a truck stop, at a shipper receiver. I'm going to be running in the Smithfield dedicated fleet next week. Again, I'll be driving that beautiful new Freightliner Black Beauty, and so if you see it out there, I know you might be a little jealous and drooling at it. But I figure just like, it's sort of like sampling the food for someone, make sure it's not poisoned and it's okay. I feel it's my duty to make sure that this truck is okay before all of you start hopping into these things in October.
Remember, Brad is a truck driver and not a steering wheel holder.
I'm going to do my best. So thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye now.